Turkey Day is approaching. It is almost time for Thanksgiving. And if you are the one that's doing most of the cooking, the pressure is on, baby. Now, on our show all the time, every Thanksgiving season, we show a lot of recipe fixes. We give tips and tricks. We've even got a live helpline. But today, I am passing it over to a master to fix your Thanksgiving disasters. Please welcome back to our kitchen and our show, the one, the only, Sarah Moulton. So, number one top tip, like I always tell people, I got a lot of top tips, but I think the one that I get feedback from the most is, please don't try and make something for the first time on Thanksgiving, right?
You're so right. You're so right. I mean,
make what you know.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
top
crazy.
Tip for you?
Never apologize, never explain. And actually, I learned that from Julia Child. Never apologize,
right.
Never explain.
That's right.
Everybody's so happy you're cooking. Just keep your mouth shut. It's the best food you ever made.
Shut up.
Yes.
That's great advice.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's start with turkey. Give us some, let's start with the gravy. Let's get some good gravy advice on what goes wrong.
You made lumpy. Oh, I like that one.
Gravy-loving people.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Well, everybody loves gravy, but what if it's lumpy, okay?
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to serve lumpy. It's just very simple, of course. You strain it, but you could avoid that by using the stuff our grandmothers used to use. Wonder, which is instantized flour. Not everybody has this just kicking around in there.
Yeah.
But if you have that, use that when you make the roux, and you won't have lumps. But if you do have lumps because you didn't whisk fast enough, or you added a liquid,
the end of the world.
Just strain it, you know what I mean? And just put it, we got all the
pour it through a little strainer and go
and just carry on.
Back and forth.
Yeah,
and move along.
Yeah, and don't tell anybody you did. So there you go. And you just put it through.
Keep it quiet.
Okay, so there's one.
Leave the lumps in this pan.
Or in the strainer. There we go. Okay, so that's number one.
That's easy.
Yes. Okay, so number two, supposing you've thickened your gravy, but it's still too thin.
Or you got a nice gravy going, then you added more of the drippings, and it went too far.
It went too far. Okay, so you have three things you can reach for. Flour, we're going to actually use regular all-purpose flour here. Cornstarch or arrowroot. If you want an opaque sauce, you go for flour. If you want a translucent sauce, like for Chinese food, you use cornstarch. And if you want a clear sauce, you go for arrowroot.
Gotcha.
But most people have flour, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to make something you know called the roux.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is just very simple. We've already thickened it, but it's not thickened enough. So you just take some water and some starch. In this case, we're using flour. And you just whisk it until it looks right. The liquid, actually, can you turn that up for me?
Sure.
So it's boiling. You just whisk it in until it looks right. And then you stop.
So make a little more than you think you might need.
Yeah, exactly.
So that you can be the boss of that. And when it gets to where you're going, you're good.
So that's sort of a nice texture right there. And then just simmer it for a little bit. Yeah, so that's what you can do. Yes. Okay.
Where should we go next? To the potatoes?
So I know you like sort of lumpier potatoes. So
I do. I like a little texture.
Yeah, I do too. So I'll take the boiling potatoes, even leave the skin on because I'm lazy.
Me too.
And then I just mash them with an old masher or a fork. But let's say you meant to make those really wonderful creamy mashed potatoes, and you just didn't use the right tool. The right tool is one of those ricers or one of those food mills. So it comes out like this. At this point, you don't want to work it too much. Believe me, I know that. No, we are not throwing this in the food processor.
Do not overprocess.
Okay, so back to the original thing I said, sort of related, reposition it. Suddenly, yes, I'm making rustic mashed potatoes.
Don't you love that word, rustic?
Rustic will cover all of your problems. Just say rustic. It's popular, it sounds good, it sounds homey, it sounds Italian, I don't know.
It's rustic.
So just throw in a lot of butter and throw in a lot of herbs and call it rustic and we're done.
Rustic! There you go. Italian potato.
There you go. Okay. Now let's say, unlike Dr. Oz, we added way too much sugar to our sweet potatoes.
Which a lot of people do.
They do.
A lot of recipes are so heavy with sugar.
How much sugar it has to begin with.
That's right.
There's two ways you could go, and one of them is lemon. That's the obvious one. Yes, citrus. But another one that people don't know is chilies.
I love this.
Yes, because we're going to add a little chipotle in adobo. Chipotles are smoked jalapenos. Adobo is that tomatoey sauce. And what happens is chilies take down sugar.
Yeah.
And likewise, sugar takes down chilies. So if you're not making chili on Thanksgiving, a big pot of, chili.
Right.
But if you made chili that was too spicy, you just add sugar. And suddenly it doesn't taste so spicy.
It balances.
Likewise, but then suddenly you've got exotic sweet potatoes because they're with chipotles and they're smoky. You're like, wow, I'm cool.
It sounds sexy and fabulous.
And I just want to mention,
I do this too.
If you open a whole can, then what you do is you just take, you know, like a couple of little ones and freeze them in smaller amounts. You can even do it in tablespoon amounts.
Yeah, I love that. I love that trick.
Because there's a lot in there.
That's right. And if you throw it in the fridge, it'll eventually just start to get moldy on the top. You throw it away.
With all those other mystery
I do the same thing. I puree the whole thing, put it in a baggie, mark it so you know what it is in your freezer. Just break off what you need.
Yeah.
Okay, let's fix a pie.
All right, now, you know, your pie cracked, and this happens all the time. It's just one of those things. So there's two things you can grab from your makeup kit.
Okay.
Okay, one of them is powdered sugar.
Gotcha.
And you can just dust it. You have to do this at the last minute because it, you know, it
keeps absorbing.
It gets gummy.
Yeah,
You're right. But if you want to make it, now let's hope this works now that I'm doing this. This is a kindergarten art trick here. You can put a little doily on top, and you shake it. So this is going to take me a minute to just shake.
I love this tip. It's so fancy, but it's a fake out.
So this is like powder, you know? And let's just hope I get enough on there because this is such a dainty little strainer. So this is...
Well, hit it harder. You got muscle. Come on.
I know, but it's too high. I'm too short. Wait,
oh, please. I got the cheater shoes on. Okay, fine.
I need a pair of those.
I will get you a pair.
Okay. I don't know if that's my look. But
right? Like you would wear.
And I'd have to run 4 miles a day to look like you doing those. I'm just so impressed with you. Okay, now we're all done.
Okay, did I do it?
You did great. Okay, let's see if it's going to work. And even if it doesn't, we're going to say it's perfect. Ready?
That's right. We're going to own it.
1, 2, 3. Boop. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Of course, I get most of it on the floor.
Right? I think I decorated more of Sarah's Chuck E. Cheese.
I think it's gorgeous. Oh, my God, that's gorgeous. Okay.
It's perfect. We meant to do that.
Okay, then here's the other thing.
And then the other thing you can do.
Okay, this is the other thing is you can just put whipped cream on top. So we just put
Hide it.
Yes. We're covering the crack. Or on an individual piece, more whipped cream right where, and again.
Wherever it's broken.
And you know,
that's where the whipped cream goes.
This is the rustic look. Isn't that rustic?
I've been rustic since the day I was born.
Doesn't that remind you of your grandmother?
It really does.
Rustic, yeah.
It really does.
Okay.
Up next, we're going to talk turkey. Sarah's back right after this.